Hey guys, so my name's Effie, and the pollutant that I chose is going to be UV-328. Okay, so just some quick basic facts. So UV-328 is a chemical compound that is in the phenolic benzotriazoles. Its physical state is a yellow powder with the melting point of 81.2 degrees Celsius. If you look up above, that's going to be your yellow powder substance of UV-328. I also uploaded a UV, I don't know if this is going to be in the way or not, right there. Just to get you thinking about UV protection, okay? So UV-328 is very persistent, it's bioaccumulative, and it's very toxic. Okay, it's found in areas in the environment, in the biota, in special areas in the Arctic and Pacific Ocean. Canada, Norway, and Costa Rica has no production of UV-328. But Russia basically has their UV-328 imported by the People's Republic of China. UV-328 absorbs the UV light spectrum and is used as a sun protector of surfaces from discoloration. Discoloration, what I mean by that is your surface, let's say we're on a vehicle, it's going to coat that protection from the sun, from the UVs. It's also additives in plastics for food packaging and transparent plastics and personal care products like makeup or sunscreen. Okay, just a little bit of history. So in 1970, UV-328 boomed. Its first use was a light stabilizer for multiple forms of plastic. Its use is for the stabilization of acrylic polymers and unsaturated polyesters. Now, those are just to name just about two. There is about 7, even more. I just wanted to name a couple to get you guys thinking what actually contains UV-328. So some negative effects are the destruction of aquatic life and damage to the liver and kidneys in mammals, while having endocrine disrupting effects. In 2014, UV-328 was officially known as a substance of high concern, and with the continued use of worldwide, the Swiss government submitted a proposal about adding this pollutant to the elimination list of the Stockholm Convention in May 2020. If you look up above the top right, that's going to be their logo. I just wanted to put that in there to get us thinking about that. I also put a picture of acrylics down below. It's the bottom right. As far as when you go and you get your manicure, if you get your dip, it contains UV-328. So I just wanted to put that picture in there to just get you thinking. I also have a YouTube video about the history of plastic that I do want to play, but I want to make sure that I get through the whole presentation beforehand. So I'm going to get through the presentation, and then if we have time, go back and watch that video. So some beneficial uses. UV-328 is used in plastic shrink films, outdoor furniture, and clear coats. Also used for light stabilization in coatings. So if you look to your right, your top right, that's going to be your epoxy resin, your fiberglass. Okay, and then right below that, that's going to be your fiber resin. You see those tables everywhere now. People fill in those, pretty waves and all of that. So fiber resin contains UV-328. It also, polyvinyl chloride also contains UV-328 as well. So it's also beneficial for construction materials, fillers, adhesives, paints, fragrances, and inert pesticides. That is why I put the picture of paint down below. Not all paints have UV-328, but majority of them do. And then down below here, I just have a picture of the human body, just as far as showing elements of UV-28 and how it metabolizes in our bodies. Okay. So as far as toxicity, there is evidence that shows that UV-328 can be found in breast milk and also stored in fatty tissues throughout the world. That is not good. UV-328 can specifically be passed down from the mother to the child as far as if she's breastfeeding. It's highly toxic and harmful to aquatic and marine life. UV-328 can be found in plastics that wash up on the beach, preen oil of birds, their stomachs or eggs. Once it's consumed, it can be transported to a different location. All right. Remember that the brine oil of birds, that's going to be the back end of your bird. You see them messing with their back tail. I was going to put a picture in here to show you guys, but if you want to do more research, you can look it up. It's not too flattering. So anyways, so European Union listed the UV-328, like I mentioned in the last slide, as the high concern. This happened in 2014, all right, where it was considered a PBT. Say that 3 times fast. Repeated exposure to UV-328 directly aims for the liver and the kidney. And in 2020, UV-328 was considered regulated under the REACH Annex 14 Act. Okay, and then I just wanted to put this picture of the bird showing the transportation of UV-328 and how it's easily passed along to different islands around the world. Okay. Here I wanted to put a graph because this semester has been focusing on graphs and being able to show and resemble the differences between, in this case, pollutants. So if you look down below, it's going to be your last section. You have your UVs right here. So UV-328 is right here. So that contains your plastics and rubber, your cosmetics, your makeup, your nail polish, painting and surface coating. That's going to be the protection of your cars, your textiles, and of course UV protection. Here's another graph of global ultraviolet absorption. This is basically as far as market price. So you can see that in 2017, there was less of a market where there is a higher market now in 2021. So as I mentioned above, that UV-328 can be transported from long distances. It can be released from the plastics, which is in contact with the birds. We're going to continue using bird as an example. So down below here to the bottom right, you can see the additives into the bird. And then as far as feces, that is how UV-328 can be transported from long distances. As far as, let's say this bird just flew to a different island that is not nearby. So UV-328, it's not bound to the polymer. So that means it can move from within the polymer matrix and then ultimately diffuse out of the matrix. And this is how UV-328 enters the environment. It is also considered the first non-halogenated halogenated chemical approved by the Stockholm Convention Scientific Subsidiary Party, the POP's review committee. Okay, and here are my references. I do want to go up to this video. The video is just a side note. It's just a nice informative video that I do want to share. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go directly to the spot.
Hurricane season runs from June 1 until November 30th, with most Atlantic hurricanes occurring In August,
Right here, we're going to start talking about a chemist and how he created and started plastics.
A waste product of coal tar and formaldehyde, creating a hardy new polymer called bakelite. Bakelite was much less flammable than celluloid, and the raw materials used to make it were more readily available. Bakelite was only the beginning. In the 1920s, researchers first commercially developed polystyrene, a spongy plastic used in insulation. Soon after came polyvinyl chloride, or vinyl, which was flexible yet hardy. Acrylics created transparent, shatterproof panels that mimicked glass. And in the 1930s, nylon took center stage, a polymer designed to mimic silk but with many times its strength. Starting in 1933, polyethylene became one of the most versatile plastics, still used today to make everything. The invention of a technique called injection molding made it possible to insert melted plastics into molds of any shape where they would rapidly harden. This created possibilities for product. Plastics were pushed into service in World War II. During the war, plastic production in the United States quadrupled. Soldiers wore new plastic helmet liners and water-resistant vinyl raincoats. Pilots sat in cockpits made of plexiglass, a shatterproof plastic, and relied on parachutes made of resilient nylon. Afterwards, plastic manufacturing companies that had squeezable plastic bottles, takeaway cartons, and plastic containers for fruit, vegetables, and meat. Within just a few decades, this multifaceted material ushered in what became known as the plastics century. While the plastics century brought convenience and cost effectiveness, it also created staggering environmental problems. Many plastics are made of non-renewable resources, and plastic packaging was designed to be single-use, but some plastics take centuries to decompose, creating a huge buildup of waste. This century.
All right, so I just wanted to show that real quick and share that with you guys. All right, and hopefully that was just in the time frame, and I hope you enjoyed the video.